Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to discuss a little bit more of a refresher on how to keep guard of your emotional house. Your emotional house will be made to feel as if it is broken, as if it is not working, as if it is something that is painful, as if it is something you must hide, as if it is someplace you cannot invite others on, as if you are not presentable or good enough to the world, as if you don't have it together yet. You can't quite, keep yourself in a happy, functional place that's conducive to relationships if you're feeling that your sort of emotional house has been targeted and made to be a place of weakness, or your energy has been depleted. When we're talking about a psychopath, when we're talking about a narcissist, we're talking about people who will take and rob energy from others. They will take energy from others. Despite the contrary that they feel like they are feeding you energy, actually they are not there in present energy form. They are not there to be present with you. You might have picked up on this, earlier, that they don't really have eye contact. They're not able to sit across from a table from you. They feel uncomfortable, that they're always sort of, just sort of slithering in and out of meetings or relationships, or I've got to go, or just sort of, on their own gravy train. They're just sort of on their own crazy train. They're on their own level. They're on their own emotional conveyor belt. And oftentimes they will then take advantage of others, breaking them down, making you feel weak because they take from other people's energy really in order to exist. These are the takers of the world. I mean, we hear about this, but really we're talking about there's something about a life energy. There's something about a confidence. There's something about a self-esteem. There's something about an I am, an identity that is the booty that they're going in to sort of rip a handful of gems out of. This is your pricelessness. This is your I am. And they make it to feel broken, scattered, like you've lost your marbles. And, you might feel that you don't have sort of your boundaries up, your standards up, that things are on the function, that things are on the up and up. This is the depleted state that a psychopath or a narcissist will fool you into existing in through a very deliberate setup of false promises, entitlement, that they've been entitled to you, entitled to your schedule, entitled to your ideas, entitled to your comfort, entitled to your family, entitled to your time. I mean, everything is an entitlement. So it is very a one direction extrapolation, or sort of vampiric leeching, I would say more of a leaking out of energy that oftentimes leads then to a feeling of depression, worthlessness, apathy, lethargy. You might then feel like, then I'm lazy, I don't have what it takes, I'm depressed. So oftentimes this is just nothing more than a separation from you, from your source energy. And sure, people have neurochemical imbalances and such, and you might feel a temporary set of emotional imbalance, chemical imbalanced, feeling very depleted. Your neurochemicals, you can go through the adrenal fatigue. If you've been on this fight or flight for a long period of time, where you felt fearful for your life, fearful for your ability to make it on your own, because you've been fooled and deceived, and you haven't had the truth and your strength validated back to you, like you're a good person, you're good, you are who you are, these are your strengths. If you haven't had that truth validated back to you, if you've had nothing but deception validated back to you, or attack, then you are in that fight or flight. You're going to develop a Stockholm Syndrome where you're identifying with an abuser, and then next thing you know, you're then in a tirade against yourself, and how you were living before was boring, stupid, unexciting, until you reclaim it. So that's part of the journey where things sort of flip-flop, and you really feel that you are feeling that you're bought into a false bag of goods, or something of that nature, where you feel deceived, and you're deflated. You're no longer with this person. You're no longer at that job. You're no longer at that house. You've had to split ways because you're so broken down, so fatigued and exhausted, or the fear that they will try to get you to live under has just taken you over, and you're just done in for. So this is a very real state. I call this sort of a valley moment. It's sort of a come to me moment. It's, you have to really be willing to heal and nurture and become very self-attuned and self-aware and self-embracing, self-forgiving, and self-compassion in these moments. How do you, keep guard of your emotional house? First of all, realize you have a complete emotional house. You have a complete emotional mansion. You have the penthouse view. You have the furnished, basement. You've got the kitchen where you can cook and prepare food for yourself. You have a beautiful, comfortable bedroom. You have a complete, wonderful emotional house. First of all, you have to acknowledge and validate that. Take off the goggles of the smear campaign, the Vaseline over the glasses where you couldn't see things clearly. The fear, obligation, and guilt, the fear that they try to cycle through your veins, through your emotional everyday, what they try to create as your reality, but it's a really non-reality, to constantly live in fear, trepidation, guilt, paranoia, I'm not good enough, you're horrible. All these negative validations are really what do to sort of grind you down into a very fine pulp. Does anybody want to live in that ground down state? They are like an emotional, emery board. Nail file, they grind you down. Sure, some of this emotional ground down, like, sort of self-change. Hey, I need to stop doing that. I need to stop that type of lifestyle. I need to stop eating that. You're refining yourself. You're growing mature. You're refining your emotions. You're growing out of immature, stupid, foolish ways. And that's no longer you. You don't identify with it. And, that would be out of character for you. You're no longer allowing that to be an active breaking down mechanism in your life. So once you invalidate their power over you, you have to acknowledge and validate this person does not have power over you. They do not have, they do not own your inner guts. I mean, they do not own your inner I am. That your heart is beating, you're breathing, you are living of your own volition. You have free will. You have free will. I am. You have to get that back sort of as a place for you to discover and have, a sense of journey and adventure from. I am. And it's a restorative sense. So you have to own the fact that you do have an emotional home, which is a lovely and cozy and comfortable and warm home. Oftentimes it has the qualities with which they have tried to strip out from underneath you. So it's a restoring and acknowledging and a resensitizing of your eyes, your ears, your taste, your touch, your feeling. What have we missed? All of the senses, including your sixth sense, your higher awareness, and your higher order thinking, your higher self, all need to be resensitized and reaffirmed and revalidated. And then repriming your vision and image of yourself, of who you are and who you would like to attract and how you would like to be. Oftentimes, this is a polar opposite of the broken down, defeated, sort of desperate person that they have tried to make you into be. They will manipulate you through antagonism, so to bring out the worst in you. And so you might have done some things that you are not to proud of. In those moments of being manipulated, you then became, an active participant out of your control. Your life might have become temporarily out of control. This is, sometimes it's a good feeling to let go, but when we're talking in the negative, where someone has really broken you down, has made you feel like a disaster, you're unlovable, unwanted, and then you're trying to unpack all the delirium that you have been misguided or deceived and conned, you need to sort of come back to heart, come back to Jesus, come back to Om, like literally come back to source, come back to the sun, come back to the wind, come back to the rain, come back to the soil, come back to the true directions, come back to the truth, come back to your center of being, come back to a peaceful body. You are good enough. It's okay for you to be in alignment all the way through energy, from your groundedness, working itself all the way up through your gut, through your solar plexus, your I am. I am brilliant. I am shining forth. I am strong. I am powerful. I am connected to the greatest power. I am connected to the source power of the universe. I am connected. And then feeling this, and you are, and that is your truth, and you are connected. The source is acknowledging and validating. It's like that poem, Footsteps. Why did you abandon me? That crying out to God. I look back in my life and there was only one footprint in the sand. Why did you abandon me? Those were my footprints. I was carrying you through, and then then you are acknowledging your strength to walk in and shine as a person and be happy and live in happiness and what you consider your strength and out a cessation of pain. You have to acknowledge and validate that I reclaim my victory now. And I'm not all the lies that this person invalidated me with. So you have to know you no longer can't accept and process and digest emotionally these invalidating untruths about you. So you have to be able to undo the negative seeds that were planted so they don't grow in your garden day in and day out, so that you wake up and you go, oh my God, I have that seed of paranoia in me again. Why is that? I have that seed of unrest in me. Why is that? Yank that out. I deserve to be at ease. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be out of, this emotional pain. And so it is. They will make you feel that that's not the natural state. That is, people will tell you that they are very unnatural. They are very unnatural. They are very unnatural. So you need to come back to your natural state, even though you might have believed your natural state was not desirable, wanted, the place to be, had it going on, beautiful, gorgeous. Your emotional house is like your emotional mansion. You've got the penthouse view. You've got the pool. You've got the dance room. You've got the Pilates room. I mean, you have got it all. You have access to everything that you need to be happy. You have the same amount of time. How are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to follow your dreams and board up and shore your foundation? My foundation goes out to here. My standards go up to here. And these are realistic and pragmatic. So being realistic and pragmatic is so crucial. It is so crucial that you reestablish and reignite your connection to the positive, the warm. Oftentimes, what people have been depleted of is the absence of warmth, the absence of love. And so it's almost like feels scary to have that back in your life. Call back that warmth, call back that embrace of self. Call back that brilliant white light that energizes you and allow it to push out of every cell of your being. And, light it up. I mean, light it up within yourself. Do a little jig, do a little dance, do a little smile. But peace and harmony, I'm not supposed to smile. Yes, you are. I'm not supposed to laugh. Yes, you are. I'm not supposed to, eat and feel good. Yes, you are. I'm not supposed to have a hobby. Yes, you are. I'm not supposed to be gainfully employed. Yes, you are. Embrace your truth. Carry it like a torch and don't let it go. Remember and validate that I am.